What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be touching up our Switch Axe build. Thanks to Title Update 4, we have a lot of really cool new stuff. The unfortunate part to that is that it is RNG. Not only do you have the RNG of your talisman slots being a Golden Age charm with the god roll of like Attack Boost 3 and Weakness Exploit, or Attack Boost 3 and Burst, not to mention including one, not two, but three slots as well. And now you also have the RNG that comes from the Gogma Ardian system. I actually got extremely lucky, and I have both a Paralysis Switch Axe with Gormagala's Tyranny and Guts, Lord Soul, but I also have a Dragon one with the exact same thing, which was absolutely nuts. So, I'm going to preface this with RNG build, however, is not required, okay? The perfect min-max, you're going to need RNG on your side. You're going to need a little bit of luck. I will say, though, you do not need Guts, okay? The 5% damage increase, or the attack increase, is nice, don't get me wrong. What's more important is Gormagala's Tyranny, okay? Which means, even if all you have on your weapon is Gormagala's Tyranny, and all you have on your Golden Age charm is a little bit of attack boost, item prolonger, power prolonger, any of the normal Switch Axe skills, you are a-okay, okay? We are getting into the nitty-gritty, and we are breaking down every number trying to max out our damage. So, let's get started. Today on our Para and Dragon Switch Axes, because Dragon is the best element, at least in my opinion, in the game. You got a lot more weaknesses, and it's just good against everything. We are rocking Power File Switch Axes. These are Gogma Ardian upgraded to the attack focused with the same type of roll. Affinity boost, 3 attack boost, 1 sharpness. The reason for that is because of the attack focus that we have on our weapons. We want to make sure that we are not getting hit with a negative 10% affinity, okay? Because of that, the affinity boost is great here. What I'm going to preface, and that's because I've been getting a lot of the comments about it in my YouTube section, is that you guys are sitting there like, no, that's not the god roll. That's not what you need to go for, man. The literal difference between the affinity boost EX that I have here on both of these weapons and a 4th attack boost is about 2.3% damage increase. 2.3%. And it is significantly harder to roll 4 than it is to roll 3 affinity and sharpness. Okay? On the flip side to that, you could also go double attack, double affinity, 1 sharpness. It does not matter. Okay, the difference between these numbers when you are min-maxing, absolutely they matter. In the case of this, I am min-maxing to a point that at least makes sense. I am not going to burn all of my material from fighting Gogma 50 plus times now into one weapon that might roll how I want. And truth be told, I don't recommend any of you guys do either. So, at least for me, my perfect roll is this. 3 attack boost, 1 affinity, 1 sharpness. With Gormagala's Tyranny, and if you're lucky, Gormagala's Tyranny with Lord Soul. If you do not get Lord Soul, it is okay. You are just going to miss out on a little bit of damage. We are min-maxing. I am min-maxing, and you may be min-maxing too. However, it'll happen when it happens. Okay, you can't rush any of this stuff. I've just gotten insanely lucky, as some of you guys have seen, with some of my charms, okay? Now that I've hit the actual weapons, because these are literally identical pieces, we're going to go ahead and talk about the armor. The armor is Gore Helm, Ray Sandbrace's Beta. The reason for this is going to give us our Ray Dow skill bonus, our 2-piece skill bonus. It is going to give us a Gore 2-piece skill bonus. And then on top of that, we are going to be using Transcended Blongo Greaves Alpha. The reason for this is going to give us Counter-Strike, especially with the changes to Switch Axe, with being able to hop out of your counter after a successful counter, really lets Counter-Strike shine again. So, because of how good Counter-Strike was naturally on Switch Axe, I wanted to make sure that there was a good piece that synergized well. And the Blongo Greaves Alpha Transcended with 2 level 2 slots are able to do that. So I highly, highly recommend you follow this to a T. Okay? Now, I'm going to preface this with, I know I've said a lot about min-maxing. I have not been able to. I do not have an attack boost with Agitator I do not have an attack boost with burst that also has the decoration slots that I need. Meaning, even my stuff's not perfect yet, okay? You do not need everything to be perfect to make this and use it as a good build, okay? Let me preface that one more time. You do not need all of the bells and whistles. This build absolutely slaps and still does a crap ton of damage. The only real requirements, Blongo Transcended, Gormagala on your weapon, and ideally, an attack boost charm with 3 slots. And technically, you don't even need 3. You could opt for 2. You just need 2 for sane. The attack boost is just going to put it a little over the edge. It is not a requirement, okay? Let me preface this with, we are min-maxing, yes, but we are not breaking everything down to a point where you're burning everything, bricking your entire account, trying to sell all of your monster materials to keep re-rolling. Don't do that. It's gambling. Don't do that. You'll get it in time. And if you haven't fought Gogmazios and you're struggling still, make sure to join the Discord. I literally did a hunting community night just a couple days ago with some people in my Discord that started out in the YouTube comments. So, let's keep going. On our armor, we're going to start because there's not a whole lot of decorations here. We have a chain. We have a couple of challenger jewels. We have our 3. We have 1 sane, 2 sane, 3 sane. Then we have a mighty. We have a phoenix. And then we have the attack. The reason we are rocking this setup as we are, 1, burst is just insanely good. Having 1 level of burst is really, really nice. It's just a damage increase, especially on Switch Axe, where it's really, really easy to have upkept. On top of that, maximum might is very, very important. The extra affinity that you gain, because it is not a stamina-heavy weapon, is truly wonderful. Truly wonderful, okay? The more you get to take advantage of it, the better off you'll be, the more damage you're going to do. You'll see here that because we have our maximum might, because we have our antivirus maxed out, we are going to get a lot more affinity bonuses, allowing us to take full advantage of critical boost 5, which is where I said the attack boost doesn't matter. The way that this build has been engineered and set up is that even without all of the absolute best stuff, you are always going to be able to pump out a crazy amount of damage, okay? Now, as far as the weapon goes, the weapon is kind of up to you. Status is, in my opinion, phasing out a little bit. Status is not as good as it used to be because a lot of these monsters have really high resistances. In fact, the only status that I think might actually be taking the cake now is poison, but that's a completely different build that you guys may also see, I'm pretty sure, coming up this week. So, stay tuned for that. I would say element is the way to go now. But you have 2 choices, especially on Switch Axe with element. You can go the attack focus route that I went, which is with a file type of power, or you can go the element type. Now, in my testing, the damage is about a 5% difference. And power file starts out higher and climbs a little bit slower, but element does beat it out. The issue with element is that it takes longer to get rocking. Once it is rocking, you can do more damage. It's just a little bit harder to get to that point. And because of how long some of these monster fights are, I decided it wasn't worth it. Not to mention, I already have a god roll here with power files, so there was no point in me trying to re-roll. If you have an element one, an element file, or a power file, it does not matter. Ideally, what you're going to want to go for is these decorations. Critical Jewel 3, Critical Jewel 3. This gives you crit boost. If you are on an element file, you would rock Enhancer with a dragon or fire or whatever it is that you are rocking. That is going to give you just a little extra on the top. If you are using a status Switch Axe, you are going to rock the exact same setup of critical for maxed out critical boost with an Enhancer and Handicraft. The reason you go Enhancer Handicraft is because, unfortunately, Power Prolonger doesn't combo very well with other decorations, meaning you're kind of limited in your options, and so if you're not using an actual element, might as well get a little extra white sharpness. All in all, with everything combined, you get a crazy amount of 40% increased damage with crits, attack boost, level 4. Because we hit the level 4 cap, we also get a 2% damage or attack increase, plus the bonus of 8. Power Prolonger to make it a little bit easier to keep our amp state active. Then we have Agitator. Agitator and Latent Power are both level 4. The reason for that is because like I said, I don't have an attack boost with latent power. I don't have an attack boost with agitator, with the decoration slots that I need to make this build work. And I know the majority of you probably don't as well, meaning this is the best bang for your buck. Even without my stuff completely min-maxed, I'm able to pump out a crazy amount of damage. All of it together gives you agitator plus 10% affinity. We're naturally at 0, so 10%. We get an additional 40% once latent power is active. Latent power is also more beneficial because we have the Raid Dow set bonus, meaning just agitator and latent power, you have 50% affinity. Include maximum might, now you're 80% affinity. Include antivirus, and now you have overcapped because it is 15% plus the additional 10% from antivirus itself. 15 from frenzy, 10 from antivirus. Total 25. Meaning your 80% now becomes 105% affinity with everything active. If the monster isn't agitated, you don't have latent power active, you still have maximum might, and you will still have antivirus, giving you a minimum of 55% affinity. So, while latent power, agitator, everything is active, you are more than likely not critting on everything. At least 1 out of every 2 hits. You are critting at least half the time. Once everything is active, you're always critting. Unfortunately, you do overcap a little bit, but there's not much more that I can do about that. And truth be told, I would rather overcap more than undercap and not hit those strikes. Okay? Not to mention, we do have Coalescence, which is going to benefit our paralysis stacks or our dragon damage. We have Burst, which is just going to give us even more raw attack. It'll give us a minimum of +8. And then on top of that, once we've broken down everything, you also have the raw attack bonuses. Thanks to the attack boost here, Agitator with the +16, Counter-Strike with +25, and we get the 5% that is hidden from Guts. All in all, this build absolutely slaps, and although it is not min-maxed to the perfect level quite yet, it is very RNG heavy, and unfortunately, it shows it. Because of that, it's a little harder to do everything as well as I would like to. It's very, very difficult to min-max everything when I haven't gotten it yet. But you can see there, with just a normal strike, we hit for 197. So what I will do is I will get my Gormagala's Tyranny, hit the counter real quick, and let's go ahead and get both of our things charged up. There's Axe mode and amp gauge. There we go. Now you can see here, we'll exit focus mode. We have our amp gauge. We have everything active. Burst just ran out. We are 100% affinity. Wonderful. We're at 297 attack. And then if we were to start attacking, you can see with just one full release, we will go from 600 to 2519. We have 305 attack. One full release slash was able to do nearly 2,000 damage. And then on top of that, thanks to the added bonuses that came from Title Update 4, you actually don't need to full release slash anymore, which is even better. Element Discharge may not be as strong as it used to, but nonetheless, it is fun to do. This build is absolutely wonderful. It absolutely claps. And then on top of that, you can use it for pretty much anything. You do not need to worry about any of the perfection points quite yet. We will get there when we get there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you all for coming and watching it. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys are interested in Monster Hunter Wilds as well as other games as much as I am, don't forget that most nights I stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/SnyperSama. I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.